So one of the most important concepts in marketing, probably the foundational concept, is the idea of customer value, because ultimately what marketing is about is creating value for customers in exchange transactions. So that begs the question, what exactly is customer value and how do we think about it? So one framework that I found very useful in organizing my thinking around customer value is the notion of the triangle of customer value. And this means that there are three key dimensions or ways in which companies can create value for customers. So the first dimension is what I would call functional value. Functional value relates to what a product or service does for customers. Its performance, its durability, its reliability, its innovativeness, all those are related to the features and the performance of the product. And that is something we very commonly associate with, say, technology products. We talk about functionality. The second dimension of value is what we call economic value. And economic value relates to the time and money that a product saves or creates for customers. And you find that even if it's an airline like Southwest Airlines or IKEA or companies like Microsoft sometimes talk about the total cost of ownership or the value to the customer in terms of better economics. So that's the economic notion of value. The third dimension of value, which actually sits at the top of the triangle, is emotional value. And emotional value is the value that customers get out of the feelings and the emotions that are evoked when they use or they interact with a product or brand or a company. It's a sense of affiliation, it's a sense of independence, it's a sense of self-expression. And if you think about a company like Apple, it is very successfully being able to communicate that emotional value and build that emotional connection with customers. So now the question that arises is, which one of these dimensions should a company focus on? You can actually compete and win on any of these three dimensions. You find, for instance, if you look at personal computers, Hewlett-Packard, Dell, they compete mostly on functional value. So does Lenovo, because they talk about the advanced features and the technologies and so on. Now, on the other hand, if you look at the newer category of what we call the web books or the web notebooks, which are the smaller computers, they're mostly positioned in terms of their economics or the lower cost to the customer. But if you look at a company like Apple, it really has set itself apart in terms of the emotional connection that is created with its customers. The benefit of being able to make that emotional connection is that the loyalty is to the brand, as opposed to in functional value where loyalty is to the features, or in economic value where loyalty is to the price or the deal. So if you are able to make that emotional connection, you get more sustainable competitive advantage, and it's harder to compete against you because love is blind, and once customers start to love you, they forgive a lot of your sins. But it's a rare company that manages to make that emotional connection. I think about Mini Cooper, I think about Palm, I think about BlackBerry, I think about Apple. These are some companies in the technology and the automobile sector that have made that connection. So if you have a choice, you should try to elevate your value proposition to the emotional value. But it's not easy to do because you have to start out by earning your stripes either through better economics or through better functionality. But just like we climb the Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid, from going from the basic needs to the higher level ego, self-actualization, and emotional needs, similarly, as a marketer, you start with good functionality, better economics, but eventually climb the ladder of relationships with your customer to connect at the level of emotional value. So this concept of the triangle of value and the three dimensions of value is a useful way to think about how we can connect with customers and how we can create value for them.